Today we have Ciara Rossi, a multimillionaire online fitness coach.
I think people think that it's a body transformation, it's coaching, but think about it as in how it's affecting the people around you.
Founder and owner of Coach Rosie's Community, where she hosts her own podcast and she even has her own clothing brand.
How you're programmed from such a young age and how you don't get the choice. You're basically, I think, filling a void. Like that time of what you're doing is distraction and escapism from your reality.
She's going out here empowering women all around the world. And in today's episode, she's gonna talk about her journey. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bali Talks. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you could do a little introduction about yourself and a little background, and how did you start in this journey that you are on?
So my name is Ciara Rossi, for anyone that doesn't know. There's a lot of new faces to the American style over here that I don't know, meeting amazing people like yourself. And I come from Dublin, Ireland. So I'm sure if you're hearing my accent, you're probably saying, where am I from? So I am from Dublin, Ireland, and I come from the whole where I am right now and where it all kind of started was I was an Irish dancer, and you actually probably don't know much of my story anyway. So I came from an Irish dancing background. I was very competitive. I competed from like the age of like 5 up until I was like under like senior ladies, so up until like a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And I like came second, third, fourth in the world championships. Like I was very competitive, and then I went on tour with dancing. Like I've done a lot with my dance background. It's like how it's shaped me into the person that I am with my discipline, my routine. I feel like a hobby for anyone is so important, but that's kind of where like my background in terms of helping people. I always used to help the people that were on my team. I was like the captain of the team, and I just sport and being active and looking after my health and my body has always been like number one of my priority, and then it was like school and everything else was next. So I think for me how it all kind of started was like we didn't come from a lot where I'm from. Like I'm from a small place, everyone knows each other in Ireland, in Dublin. Like it's a really small place, and I just always knew that like I was destined for more. Like I just knew that no matter who you are, I don't think anyone's born and says like I know I'm destined for more. It's like you can create your own reality. And I've always been the person that like if there's two people going down a way, like I'll always go the opposite way. And like anyone that's ever interviewed me for podcasts, they always say to me like you were just always a little bit different. But it was just, I think for me, like I seen the struggle and I seen like the arguments of like my mom, my dad, they split up. Like there was a lot that kind of went on in terms of resentment, and then I was very masculine and I followed like what my mom was doing, so she was very independent, and that's kind of where the business and everything kind of started from. So like to sum it up, like obviously there's all different areas of like how everything kind of started, but for me I think there's always a deeper root and a deeper cause from where someone starts and how they are where they're at right now. Any successful entrepreneur that you meet, they've always come from some sort of struggle or something that they didn't feel maybe not good enough for, and I feel like that's kind of what where I came from. Myself, my brother and my mom, we call ourselves like the three musketeers. So it's just the three of us, and then only recently I've only started to kind of mend the relationship and healing journey with myself and with my dad. So that's something that I'm working on now, and I think the business side of things comes from my dad, and then the more independent and that type of stuff come from my mom. So I got a mix of both. So that's kind of how I'm here now. Obviously over the last couple of years everything has just like skyrocketed like way faster than I even imagined, but I think it's like the journey for me has just been amazing, and like that's where I'm at right now here in America.
Give me some background. How did you start being a personal coach online, and how did you start this brand that you have that I seen for fitness?
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
So like community is a big thing for me, and my team and the girls that are there, like it would be absolutely nothing. I run a company called Fit Coach Rossi, and we've got like 8 employees, and the coaches are amazing on the team, and we've got a sales team, we've got like admin, everything has.
So it's not just yourself, you have a whole
It's not just
team.
myself, yeah, I've got
Wow,
a
I
whole
love that.
team, yeah. So for me, like it's like anyone, like you juggle everything until you can't. And I think when we were speaking last time about the
It's
last,
crazy
why, what did you point for?
because when I started my plans with like my podcast and all that stuff, I started by myself, and then you know, I had Doug. He's also from Venezuela. He's been on TV, and I met him by friends in common, and you know, I started building my team as well. And like what we talked in your podcast, just so you guys know, we filmed my podcast before. This is like the part two where I'm interviewing her, and so I was talking about teams. That's the only way to go far. And I always understood that. It's just like I don't want to have anybody on my team. Just like, okay, just because you have the skill, but I need to see that their vision is aligned with mine, and you know that there is some synergy. And so, I mean, I point at him because that's what happened with him. Like he was meant to be there. But continue, please. I want to know more about your journey, how you got there with the business.
It's crazy because obviously the first part's what we done like 2 days ago, and then we were like, we'll just do the second part before we come. So definitely watch back on 2 so you can interlink both stories.
Yes.
But what was I saying about the team?
Yeah,
so how it all started was in COVID, I had a studio. I set up when I went on tour with dancing. I came back and I started working in the gym, and I was in the gym, and they were get me to like clean the toilets and like bring the bins and everything out, and I was like, this is not the job that I signed up for. And like, yes, you have to do that type of stuff at the start, and you have to do the things that you don't like, but I just felt like that wasn't my role, and I just didn't feel like I wasn't happy in the role that I was doing.
You understood that your value were much than that. Like, oh, I can do more than this. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, like that wasn't my certificate, and that wasn't what I was there for. And I understand that you do have to do different things, but I just didn't feel happy. I felt like I was nearly been degraded for what I was meant to be doing. And like there was roles that like a cleaner does that as their job and they're really good at it, or like, say for example, someone else in the studio has their own set jobs. Like it was just like you were doing too much, and I left, and my mom was like, you're leaving, like you don't have another job, like what are you gonna do? And at this time, like I didn't have savings, like nothing. Like I spent my money all the time, like on anything, like you could imagine. Like I used to have orders come into the house all the time with clothes and clothes and clothes, like things that I probably wouldn't even wear. But I just didn't really understand the value of money. I felt like if I had money, I just spent it.
Do you think you were empty inside, and you were trying to fill that emptiness with clothes or anything like that?
Yeah, like I just felt like if that was something that I never had. Like growing up, I always seen like my friends' moms like buying them everything and bringing them to concerts and everything. So the minute I had that, I was like, I want that. But then when I got it, I was like, why did I get it? Like it was pointless. It didn't make me feel any better, and it's a math.
Probably just when you got it and like couple minutes, and then you're like, okay, why did I even like?
It was pointless. Like it's everyone thinks that like externally these things that you buy yourself with the car, the house, they're great if that's what you value. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't value expensive things and I don't like a luxury lifestyle, because I absolutely do. And I feel like you get the choice to decide on that. And there was a lot of shame around me living in Dubai, me living here with that type of lifestyle. But now I'm like, that's what I like. It's what I enjoy. Why would I not? You know, like it's not to prove anyone, but I like that.
And at the end of the day, it's what you value and what you want. If they don't like it, fine. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what you want.
Exactly. And I think when I used to always have the opinions of so many other people all the time about like, if I was to do something, do you think it's okay to post this? Like, will someone have something to say? So I always had that little bit of
insecurity.
Yeah, and I never wanted to upset anyone. Like that was my thing. Like I was just so nice that I just never wanted to upset anyone. So I saved up a lot of money. I started personal training from a gym, and I just started building up clients, and more people were just coming all the time. They're coming with their mom, they were coming with like their family, and I was just like, this is like going fast. Like, so I rented out a room in the back of the studio, and the studio started getting too full that I couldn't fit any more people in.
That's a good problem to have.
It was amazing. Like, and the energy that was there, like it was just incredible. And I used to, after a while, when I built up the money, I opened up my own studio. So I put all that money into a gym, equipment, and I opened up a women's only gym at home.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then obviously COVID hit, and I was still paying rent for a studio that I wasn't using. Everyone still had to pay something while it was closed. But for me, like I wasn't at that point in my journey where I could afford that. You know, like I was making money, but I wasn't at a point where I could pay rent and just live as it was going, because nothing was open.
And that wasn't generating anything for you, so it was just like staying there because of COVID and the situation.
It was just dead money. So I was like, what do I do here? So I started teaching live workouts on Instagram in COVID, and I was doing 2 a day. So I was doing one in the morning, one in the evening, like 7 days a week for 2 years.
Wow.
And like I
That's
would
a
show
grind.
up, and I wasn't just teaching it, I was like doing the whole class with them. Like I was chest to floor burpees, I was skipping. Like if you go back on my Instagram down
Hmm.
at the bottom, you'll see every single day I was online recording workouts for people, doing them live where their family
Yeah,
would
because I
join
stay
in.
there.
That's all they were. But it was people's escape to feel a little bit of goodness, to
Hmm.
get a little bit of positivity into their life. And I felt amazing giving back, and people gave me so much feedback, and my following just started growing and growing and growing. And at that point, I wasn't doing it for money. I was just doing it for pure passion because it made me feel good, and I knew everyone else would start to feel good. So that's how I closed the studio down, went online, and everything was just like an online program. From there, I used to always have this doubt of like online coaching doesn't work. I was like, no, I have to be in person with people. I never even thought about living abroad, like nothing. I was like, I'm staying in Ireland forever.
Oh my God, that mindset.
That was
You,
like so strong.
yeah, but if you think about it, it's just the mindset. Like you were like, no, I cannot do this, and
Yeah.
like since you unlocked that, I mean, now you're worldwide,
Now I went to
Miss
Dubai,
Worldwide.
literally global. Like I'm going to a shoe with my clients in Sydney. I'm going back to Dubai. I've lived in Dubai for 3 years as well. And that was where I thought as well I was meant to be there. And it's like you're as like time is starting to go on, you're like, am I not meant to have an answer of like where I'm meant to be, who I'm meant to be with, like who's my partner, all of this. You feel like you have to have it figured out because there's so much pressure online when you
Yeah.
see everyone else around you doing it. But same thing, like I always went this way when people went that way. So I'm going to continue to do that because it's worked for me. It's my path. And
Hmm.
that's how I'm here today, where I am.
Wow. I mean, what I heard is just an incredible journey. Let me ask you something else. So, what makes you more happy when you receive like a payment of a client, or when you actually get to help them and they get to tell you like, listen, you just changed my life? Because I know as a coach, you don't only help them with their fitness, but also their discipline, their mindset. It's not just about the physique. It's just so much more than that. And I can only imagine the fulfillment when they tell you like, look, like this is all that I have done, and it was thanks to you. Like, what attracts you more, like the profits or like the fulfillment of them? Like you literally changed their life. Like thanks to
Yeah,
you, they have a better life now.
of course.
Their future is bright.
Yeah. So I'll give you two examples, and I'm always so transparent online, and what you see is
Please,
what you get. Like
please.
that's who I am, and I'm not going to say that the profit isn't like what I love. Of course, I love that. It's freedom. It buys me more. I can help my own team more. Like we all benefit all around from it. You get the result, I get the profit, my coaches get the payment. Like it's a full overall win for everyone. But when it comes down to money, people think it's like getting the sign up, but then they forget about the real reason why that person has joined your program. And when someone joins our program, like from the get go, like their initial consultation call is very deep, and they're quite emotional on their calls. They understand that like we're not just selling them anything, that like when you're signing up to us, you're getting a full lifestyle change. So like they're joining the program, they're welcomed, and they're sharing in a sacred space who they are, where they've come from, and there's other girls that are chiming in, where everyone is connected straight away, and you're not just joined and you're added into a group and then you're left off to do your own thing. You've got your onboarding call with your coach. You need to see who works well with you. We have a lot of detail that goes into it, but I think for me it's like a situation is like, say for example someone signs up and they aren't getting a regular cycle, and their hormones are all over the place, and maybe this person is trying to have a baby and trying to get pregnant, and next of all their diet has changed, their mindset has flipped, they've stopped stressing about a number on a scale, they're overall more healthy, they can enjoy and relax with their partner instead of running towards a weight loss all the time. Next of all, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks in, they're like, I'm pregnant.
Wow, guys, this
Into
is
the
so much value. This is
into the
more
program.
than just like another personal trainer. Like, oh, you have
No,
to just
it's
live this way. There's the
yeah.
correct way. No, like
No,
this is much more than that. It's deep.
deeper. It's deeper. And
Yes.
like we do like coaching clinics every week where we'll make sure like people come on, they're asking questions. Like I goal set with them. I do a Q4 for my team. I do a Q4 for my clients. Anything that I do, I share with them. And like I think the most important thing is like when you can change someone's life like that, or someone that's going for a gastric sleeve because they can just never lose weight. I'm like, please just try 12 weeks for me. Like, and I'm not going to transform your life completely in 12 weeks, but you'll have a better mindset. You'll have a healthier approach toward yourself. And there's people that can't even look at themselves in the mirror. And I think people think that it's a body transformation, it's coaching, but think about it as in how it's affecting the people around you. So someone that's
Yeah.
not confident and comfortable in their own body, always their partner has to deal with that every day. Your
Mm-hmm.
partner has to deal with you saying, I don't feel good, I feel shit, like I'm not confident, stop looking at me. How does that go into having sex with someone?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's as deep as it goes, because I know someone getting on a call, if you're picking at your lower stomach or your bingo wings or your legs or arms and they're biting at themselves, I'm like, what's your relationship like with your family? And they're like, what's your relationship like with your partner? Like some people probably can't even have that intimate connection because they're so insecure about their body. So why would you not do that?
I've never thought about that.
Think
Wow.
about it. It affects everything.
Well, I mean, I guess because it hasn't happened to me, but now if we go deeper, I mean, you because those are your clients and you get to see that reality, but I haven't. I guess like I live in a bubble where I haven't. We all live in bubbles that we don't know different realities, but I have never thought about that. Like, yeah, like your partner, like even somebody that you sleep with, but
You
wow.
get the choice to change. It's like you get the choice to change. So I'm like, okay, right, well, I'm going to let you know, like, you're signing up to the program. You're not just signing up to benefit yourself and to look better. Like, you're benefiting everyone around you.
Wow.
And then they're like, oh my God, some people as well, they end up separating from their partner because they're like, I value myself so much more, because they tap into like their true self and it doesn't just come from the outside, but think about it right now with the way everything is, it's external.
Yeah.
So externally helping someone internally starts to help them. So I think as deep as it is, and you know what, like working on yourself, your soul, your body, everything
Mm-hmm.
is so important. It's very hard now in this generation to help someone reprogram from the inside out because they can't see it. So if you work from the outside in, that's how I've been starting to get the result, because externally proving to someone physically what they can see, they're like, okay. And then I'm like, let's go a little bit deeper. So I start from outside and go in, and then if I have people that are a little bit more deeper, like some of my clients that I mentor, I start with the inside out with them because I need to know their reason for their business, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so they have a bigger why. Like I'm like, what do you need help with? Like what's the blockage with your business? Like what's going on? So I start with them on the inside because they are a little bit more emotionally mature. Maybe they have obviously a lot more self-awareness if they're independent with a business. But if you look at someone that is losing weight and they're insecure and they're not healthy and whatever else comes with it, it's like you can't help them on the inside because like they don't care. They need to see the result
Yeah.
first. So if they can see it, then it starts coming internally.
You know, in business, I always say something there is like you need to sell the dream, buy the dream, and live the dream. And so that way, when you sell them the dream and you live the dream, now they need to buy it. And so start believing that's what they're gonna get. That's what they're gonna get. I'm gonna get there and like stop looking at where you are now. Look where you're gonna get. And I think I told you in the podcast that we did, your past or your present doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your future. So it's just matter of your mind. Like you design what the results that you're gonna get. And I guess you basically are like hand to hand designing that for them and like helping them figure it out, because so many people don't even tap in and they don't figure it out. So I guess you're there to guide them.
We can do that to an extent, but like it's a very, very hard to sometimes even convince someone that this is going to help them, even though I know it is. They think that you're just selling them, but like either way, it's like it's your choice. I don't mind if you don't take the place on the spot because someone else will take it. But when they see that person that's after getting 10 steps ahead, they're like, oh shit, how come I could have done that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, you didn't decide that and you're still in the same position. So it's the same with investing into yourself, like a mentor, someone that's 10 steps ahead. They
Yeah.
can get you there. Someone for the podcast to specialize in that. That's what I've done. That she takes over that now. That I have more free time to myself. And if someone's looking to start their own journey fitness wise, it's like your health is everything. You
Yeah.
can't function without your health. So it's up to you.
Yeah, no, and if you're a business owner and you don't take care of yourself, it's that you don't take care of your business, because you're the main character of your business. Like if you're not running smoothly, your business is not gonna run smoothly. Like there's gonna be some issues,
Yeah.
and everything starts with you. Like just like with you, everything starts inside, and so it goes on and on and on. And so wow, this is deep. Like what you're doing is a deep mission that you have.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just what people see on the outside, and anyone that's joined us, like they'll know, oh my God, like I never feel like I'm by myself on this journey. Like you're in with like-minded people, and it's contagious, that energy, because it bounces off each other when they meet up at events and no one even knows each other, and everyone just clicks because that's what I create. I
They're
don't
looking
create
for the same thing.
exactly, and it's what we attract in. We never get girls, like everyone always says when they come to events, they're like, everyone's so nice at these events, and I'm like, but that's because that's what I'm like. So I don't
You
I
attract.
don't do bitchiness, I don't do any of that in the team, and that's the clientele that we attract, you know. So I think it's like very, you need to know yourself on a deeper level to know what you value and what you want and who you want to work with.
Wow, I totally love that. And so with this community, and I guess the brand, the clothing brand, it also goes with the community, the coaching. What is the big mission that you have? That tell us the raw, like, okay, all of this is your ecosystem. Just like I have, like my book, I have my consulting as well, and I have the done for you, and you know, it's a whole ecosystem. What is that big mission?
Yeah, it's like anything, they're separate companies, but
Yeah,
they all interlink in
they
some way.
complement each other.
Yeah, so
Yes.
my clothing company, Rossi Apparel, and then Fit Coach Rossi, they interlink, and then the mentorship. So kind of is like how you show up and how you, like, I'm a firm believer that like how I show up, how I dress, how I present myself is like in a reflection of how I'm feeling on the inside. So that's why I do myself up. That's why I enjoy wearing cute gym outfits, because that's why I brought out Rossi Apparel. It makes you feel confident. I feel
Yeah.
good. I train hard. If I haven't got a nice outfit on, if I don't match, it just doesn't work for me. It's like my business, if I haven't got a full routine, if all of that interlinks with each other. And then you have obviously the mentor, and so there's like 3 different levels. And I think for me the main thing is like impact. And people say like, is it really, like, is that really why you're doing it? Like, why do you bother? And I'm like, we don't have to sit here and record this podcast. We could keep all our secrets to ourselves
Yeah.
easily. We don't need to share.
For example, for me, what it happens is that I get poured so much into me. I just recently got a mentor for my event, the one that I'm doing. So I'm just doing consulting, and so like I'm so blessed that I get so much pour into me, and I got so much knowledge, so much value. I can't keep it. I feel like it's so much. I can't. And so I'm meeting with mentors, my mentors, all the time, like different ones. And so I need to give it away. I need to like put it in a book. I need to put it in the podcast. I need to give it. Yes. I can't keep it.
Yeah, they say that success is nothing if it's not shared.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, like, what's the point in having success if you can't share it with other people? And I think too, it's not a selfish game, because it's like you're the people that are on your team, you want them to level up. Like, you're creating opportunities for people, for your clients to take themselves to a next level, that it's all shared, but people think that it's just all about you and like the journey that you're on. Like, as I said, we don't have to sit here and record this. We can keep all our secrets and just keep leveling up. But like, what are we all here for on planet Earth? It's to serve.
Yeah, correct.
So what are you here to serve and do? You decide.
Correct.
If you're not here to serve and do anything, then what are you here for? And mom's here to serve her family. Dad's there to protect, provide, whatever you want to say underneath the status is. Coaches are there to provide education, health. Teachers are there to educate. Like, everyone has a purpose, and it's like, if you haven't found your purpose, you have to just go a little bit deeper on yourself and know, like, what do I love? What do I want to do? Because I think from a very young age, like, I went to an event and they spoke about how you're programmed from such a young age and how you don't get the choice. So all your choices have been made for you up until you're in secondary school.
Yeah.
Like, you don't decide whether you want to go to school. Of course, you're younger, you don't understand.
We don't even choose our name.
You don't even choose, though, if you want your ears pierced as a
Yeah.
baby. Who,
Hmm.
and because someone said at the event, who told you that, did she tell you that she wanted her ears pierced?
No.
And the mom was like, oh my God, like, but it's not guilt. It's like, she didn't tell you though, she
Hmm.
wanted that. So like, you're being told like, you have to go to school, you have to read this book, and you have to get a degree. If you
Getting
don't,
programmed.
if you don't get a mortgage for a house, or if you're not married by the age of 32, you're this. It's like, but says who? Like, who made up all of this? Generations behind you. So
Yeah.
it's like, for me, my goal and my main purpose, coming back to the question, is like, I want to break the generational cycle of what's been going on. Like, everyone in my family, like, none of them have relationships that are lasted together. Everyone divorces. Everyone, my mom, all her sisters are all divorced. Then I look at my nana, she's so independent. She never needed my granddad. So it goes back and back and back. And people say, like, you don't need to uncover stuff like that. But personally, I think you do.
Wow. So now that you're touching that point, can you tell somebody they're going through the struggles, they don't know how to go in a deeper level into themselves, and they don't know how to surround themselves, they don't know how to say no. They need to go out, they are so distracted by their friends that are going out, and they can't say no. They need to be out. They don't know how to have time for themselves. And how can you help them out? Give them some game.
Okay, so first of all, I would probably say like your influence in your environment is everything, and that's like easier said than done. But I think saying no is so important. Like, you don't have to do everything that everyone's doing, and I think that's where how I got myself to where I am right now, because like I would say no to going. If I want to leave, I'll leave. I don't stay just to people please other people because is it serving me? Do I feel good? Am I enjoying it? Most of the people aren't enjoying like where they're at. They're
Hmm.
not enjoying on that night out, but they just go because they have a fear of missing out. But that fear of missing out, I think, comes from like a lack of self. Like, there's no awareness. They don't have a bigger goal of life of what they want to do, and you're basically, I think, filling a void. Like, that time of what you're doing is distraction and escapism from your reality.
So you feel you're saying that most of these people are empty inside, and they try to fill themselves up with this external shiny objects or experiences or whatever it is that they're seeing in society, and society is just too shiny. Everything looks too good, and like they don't even know what they want. So they are like just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not like, okay, what do I wanna do?
What do I want? But who am I?
Yeah,
Who are you? You don't
that's
know
where it
who.
starts.
They don't know who they are. And they don't want to know either, because they know that they're going to have to leave other people behind and leave other things behind. Because think about it, as you start peeling back the layers, it's like a flower, like it has to grow again, or a butterfly, like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly.
Hmm.
But what does it leave behind? The shed skin, and it leaves behind its true itself, but it's not actually yourself. You
And
think that's who you are, and that, like, this might be deep for people that are like, what the hell is she talking about? But think about it, like, I thought I knew myself. I thought that like alcohol was an escapism at the weekend. I thought that like Friday, Saturday, Sunday was like you were meant to go out, you were meant to party, you're young, you can do what you want. You're 22 and look the way
yeah.
you're living. Who cares like about the age or what you want to do? Do what makes you happy. And as I said, I don't think people think they know what makes them happy, because if you wake up the next day on a Sunday, you're absolutely hungover, you can't even think straight, you're depressed going into Monday, and all these people that are like Sunday scaries.
And they live in this cycle. And like, for example, when you said in the morning that you were organizing the week, I also do it on Sundays, because that's how you prepare yourself for success. You're getting prepared, and you already have your calendar, you have everything organized. And like you said, they wake up hungover, they're like and then they start the day, they don't organize themselves, and then it's already like they need to go to sleep Monday, and they're like, they don't stop. They're like in cycle like program.
Yeah, it's a cycle that I think it's hard to get out of, because like I do think people are young and they like to experience, and I do feel like there's no right or wrong, because everything you do shapes you into the person that you are right now. But sometimes you need to stop and you need to reassess and say, is this benefiting me? Because me going out and losing myself at the weekend, like the fear that I used to have on a Sunday was horrific. And like I've never done drugs or anything like that, but if I drank, like I would get myself, like the next day I would wake up and be like, oh my God.
So you said you never tried drugs?
Never tried drugs in my life.
Not even psychedelics?
Nothing. Like
Nothing.
I've never even smoked a vape. I've never even smoked a smoke. Like all I've done is drank alcohol. Like honestly, like I have never done.
Well, you said you said you were gonna try the ayahuasca.
I'm gonna do ayahuasca. And I'm gonna do what's the psilocybin?
The psychedelic,
Yeah.
the shrooms.
Yes, I'm
You gonna try
do
shrooms?
I think I'll do
Love
shrooms
it.
first, and then I'll do ayahuasca.
Yeah, it's a higher level. So you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I will definitely recommend shrooms first.
One or the other. That's what someone said. Like start with it, and then obviously go deeper. But there you go again. People be like, "Oh fuck, I would definitely not do anything like that." But you can't just say one day, "That's it. I'm making a change. That's it now. My life has turned around," because that's not how
Doesn't
it happens.
really happen. Yeah,
It
correct.
happens with slow steps of like, okay, maybe you're going to start your fitness journey and read a book, and there's something in that book that says, shit, I never thought of it like that. Or then you might start seeing numbers, and you might be like, okay, this is a bit different. And like the way you see numbers, I see numbers all the time. And then it's like slowly, yeah. Why are you laughing at me?
No, keep talking.
So like,
Because I don't know. This guy is also laughing because he knows me, and because it's funny. Like I literally told you today, twin, because like everything that you say is like I'm speaking to myself.
I know.
And it's crazy. It's just mind blown.
We have like the same kind of like what you're thinking sometimes I'd be thinking, and the numbers as well.
Yeah.
Like it's like but there you go again. Energy attracts energy.
Correct.
So like I always say to people, like look at someone's partner.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's hard to do, but like look at your partner. They're a reflection of you.
Yeah.
My partner who I was with was a reflection of me, how hurt I was, like what I felt like I needed. He was always externally what he looked like, the watch, the body, muscles. I was like that. Then I started to pull back, and like when I went to like events like in Awaken You that I was telling you about, like I started to question a lot of things, and I was like, oh my God, like I used to. People don't know how deep it actually goes, and I think if you start that journey, you're always uncovering new levels of yourself. You're always gonna discover, okay, right, maybe I'm not that healed as what I thought I was, but you're not meant to be. You're never just fully there, but you're never gonna get there if you don't start.
Correct. And so now that we touch about the psychedelics, what they do, for example, for me, besides tapping into my subconscious mind, they also make you you need to face your fears. And so when you do that, you get into a trip where you see things that you don't see when you're conscious. So you get to face these fears that you don't see. You know, you can think about them right now, but they might be in your childhood. They might be some trauma that your dad or anything. And so you need, when you're in psychedelics, you're basically thinking about this and putting your energy into it when you do it right, of course. And so I feel like it's so good and healing because these fears and traumas we live on affect our life. And if you don't heal them, if you don't go and face it, and it's like, okay, this happened, like you embrace it, and it's like, okay, this is part of me. You're not gonna live a better life.
And it's like, it's not just about you, it's about future generations. Like, what if you want to have a family? Like, are you going to keep repeating the same cycle? Because if it happened to your great grandma, if it happened to your nanny now, if it happened to your mom, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to your future generation.
Their patterns.
It's so numbers. Strong that no one, yeah, it is. It's like, if you just pull it back all the way, everything starts with like, there's like this diagram that they always explain. So it basically is like a small dot, and like that's your soul. Outside of that is like, I think it's like your family. Then it's like your external things, like your house, your money, everything. And on the very outside of that, it's like money and everything else. So it's like everyone is living from success, the money and the outside. But how do you make your way back into the inside? So look at someone maybe that's really successful, and maybe they're a superstar and they're a singer, and they get to a point of like this fame that they always dreamt of, but there's nothing inside. They don't even recognize who they are. It's like, because people that are making them their way back to themselves, like that's like soul is like the main thing of I think everything and where you're meant to be, but it's so hard to get back there because we start from the outside. And I think that's why when I went to Dubai, I was always living on the outside and I could never understand why I felt so empty sometimes. I was like, this doesn't really feel, it was like a simulation in Dubai. It's like
But
people
we are
online
though.
and all.
We're in a simulation.
It's like, oh my, but no connection though. Like you can't put your feet in grass. Like if you went to the beach, like the beaches are
It's fake,
man-made.
right?
Everything's fake, so it's
So
not
even
real.
more fake than here because I think
Yeah.
everything is fake here. Like I see how they put the palms. I see how they put everything together, and it's like the sand is fake. Like I wonder if the water is fake. It's like I can totally understand. I mean,
Yeah.
over there is literally like everything is so perfect.
It's artificial and it's not real. And like people say, I don't care about that. It's like you do. You don't understand that you don't actually. If you lived in Dubai, it depends on how connected you are with yourself. There is obviously parts that and people that I know that live there that are so connected, but they went there connected. They didn't just, So when I stepped back and when I stepped out, I was like, maybe that's what I was missing when I was there.
Wow, and at the end of the day, it's everything about perspective. You change your perspective, and you were like, wow, like I was living in an artificial life.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I think only up until I came here, I started to see different things and I started to open my mind even more. And like, that's why I said, like, I'm not going back to Dubai. I'm not going back to live there. Obviously, I have my companies that are set up there, but so I will always have to keep going back and forward. But people are like, you're not going back to Dubai? Because I said, like, up until a couple of months ago, that's my place. Like, I'm going to live there forever. And now I've changed my whole mind. And people are like, that's so scary that, like, you're deciding that you're going to live somewhere else. I'm like,
And
yeah,
I'm like, why do you even worry about it? It's my life. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. People, but think about how engrossed people are in your social media.
yeah.
Like, they
No, it
love
gets deep.
knowing what I'm doing. Like, people want to know, like, why I broke up with my ex. Like, who am I living
They
with
want the
in
drama.
Florida?
They live in a novella. They want the drama.
Do you want to come into my apartment, sit down, and I'll make you dinner and let you know? Like, they don't need to know that deep. So I'm like, I just think everyone needs to just focus on themselves.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes. Take that.
Yeah.
Take that because so many people are living other people's lives,
Yeah.
and it's like, why don't you live yours?
Or living someone else's dream.
Yeah.
Why are you living someone else's dream? That's why I said, like, my team don't work for me. Like, we all work together.
Correct.
And like, I try and like my mind is so big and like I've got this big vision that sometimes it's very hard to
But you're the
share that
leader.
with them. Yeah.
You empower them.
I do, but then I noticed, remember as well, on your spiritual journey or on your deep work, I've realized that I can't expect my team to understand and know what I value and what this vision is because they haven't done the deep work.
Correct.
They're doing it in their own time and in their own on their own journeys, and they don't need to do it at my pace. But I was like, why is no one understanding what's going on here? And I got to a point where I slowed everything down because I went so deep on personal development and them that they were like, Ciara, what the hell are you talking about? They thought I was mad. And I was like, my mentor was like, remember, when you're leveling up, you can't expect other people to be on that same frequency as you. It takes time. So I pulled back on like the personal development side of stuff with them to a degree because they couldn't keep up with their heads. They were like, because they hadn't done the work.
Yeah.
So what I done, I was just sharing, and they were just like, yeah,
But they wouldn't really understand.
they didn't get it.
They would just agree.
They were going with it, but everyone was quiet. So I was like, is that everyone thinking I'm mad? Are they listening to me or like what? But they were, but they didn't understand because they couldn't feel it. They didn't know. So like, I think your personal and spiritual journey is like, it's all about you. Like that is your own little bubble and that's what you need to focus on because then everything else around you just like interlinks.
Okay, and how do you combine, for example, the fitness, the mindset with the spirituality? So, for example, if you get a client that they're religious, they don't believe in, we are spiritual beings. They believe in whatever they believe. And so, how do you go about that? Because that's something that, how beliefs are so strong, So, change somebody's beliefs is not that easy at all.
Yeah. So, I never step in and try and change anyone. That's their choice. So, and I don't believe in like religion.
Okay, me either.
I don't. I just believe in we're all one.
Religion controls.
We're all one.
Yeah.
Religion is like, no one cares if you're a Catholic, Christian. What's the difference? Someone believed in that Jesus was pinned to the cross and he wasn't. he doesn't care about that right now either. We're all one. Everyone to me is God. And like that's the way I see it. And I think like no matter what, I totally respect and understand if you've been brought up in a very strong religious background, and maybe we have some Indians, or we might have other people that like can't eat meat and blah blah blah. Absolutely, like we'll tailor it to them, because that's their, that, like, remember, like you can't change someone, but you can help and you can impact their health and their choices and their mindset to different things. But like it's not our job as therapists to stand in. That's not what I'm qualified in. My job is to help with their mind, their body, how they view themselves, how they respect themselves, and like that interlinks into all the other areas of their life. So I think it's like you could go down the rabbit hole of like the spiritual and the religious journey, but it's too deep.
Yeah, it
People
is.
get so angry over it, and I'm just like, look at war.
Hmm.
If everyone just stopped, a war would stop.
Well, financial system, war, and religion is what controls the world. And so people are being controlled, people are being programmed, like you said. So that's why I speak here. That's basically all this stuff. I went through a mentorship with a guy. He made me change my, I changed my status here, where I surrender myself and I'm not under the jurisdiction of the United States. And it gets really deep how the system works, how they, I told you that I learned the financial, the health, and all the systems. And so it's crazy. We literally being programmed to do whatever they want you to do.
Exactly, and it's so hard not to though. That's why like people think I could be quite ignorant. They're like, my mom's like, you need to be listening to the news. You should know what's going on in the world. And like I know this sounds terrible, but I genuinely haven't got a clue what's going on. Because if I see it, I'll delete the app. If I don't even have a TV in my apartment, because I refuse to sit and watch shit, and I refuse to be brainwashed. And like I
It's
get
what they want you to watch.
exactly. And like people think, do you not like want to chill out and switch off and watch a little bit of Netflix? I'm like, my Netflix account is just running and I don't even know what's on it.
I don't even have Netflix.
Like I don't even know what's on it. I'll listen to something while I'm like getting ready, or if I do want some, I'll put some music on, because like that might bring my frequency and
Yeah.
vibrant up a little bit. But like what I listen to is I'm always educating myself, and I might not be taking everything in, but I'm listening. You
No,
know?
your subconscious mind is taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it's feeding your mind. Like I told you before, is watering that garden, and it's gonna keep growing. So it doesn't matter if you don't have it in your conscious mind. You're you're making your mind work for you, meaning the actions that you take. Sometimes you might not even understand, but your subconscious mind is doing it for you. And I totally agree. Sometimes I don't keep the information like in my conscious mind, but I listen to it. I still have it here.
It will come back up in like small
Yes,
pieces of like, remember they said
yes.
that, or like that makes sense, or it will click with something else. And not, people don't understand how strong your mind is. And like your mind will tell you everything just to keep you protected and safe. So remember, what's safe? Safe is saying I'll yeah to everything, because if not, you're gonna miss out.
Correct.
Safe is going to everything, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out. Safe is doing what your parents and the generation have told you to do, because if not, you'll be shun upon. But what do you want?
Correct.
What do you want? And your mind will tell you no. Like your mind will tell you absolutely not. It will tell you that no, you need to do it like what your family said and what the generations have done before you. But what does your heart want? Well, you don't know what your heart wants, because you've never made yourself back. You've never made your way back to yourself. And like I'm in that journey right now where I'm like just so close to like just being there. Like I've done deep breath work. I've been doing a lot of heavy work over the last couple of weeks, and the breath work, oh my god.
I love it.
The release that I get from it every time, and it's not the first time I done it, I was like, I'm not doing this again.
Why?
I didn't enjoy it. I was like, I don't like this. It killed me. It broke me. Like I was like, I'm not going back to the event. Like I'm not doing it. It actually was like so painful that I was like, how can I do this again? Because I went back on like things that I never wanted to see, because I was told that I never had to touch on that. That was the past. Forget about it. But the past shapes your future. And that was what was shaping me and who I was. And when I went to the event in Miami in May, I went again to the event in California. I flew out to Palm Springs, and I went to the event in August.
Okay.
And when I went the first day, I was so anxious, right? And I knew that breath work was coming up, right? And I was like, I'm not going to this. I was like, I had my breakfast in my hotel room. I ordered room service because I didn't want to go down and have to face people. And like, that's not like me.
Wow.
I had it up in the room. I was so emotional. I sat down at the very back. And by the way, I was only after signing up to the mentorship. Like I had VIP around my neck that I was like, I don't deserve to sit up the front with all those people. I'm not going up there. Like, is there enough chairs? No, I'll just sit at the back. And like I sat squashed in between two women and they were like, are you not meant to be up the front? And I was like, yeah, I am. But I was like, I'm good. And then I bumped into like two of my friends and Waleed was like, Ciara, where have you been? And I was like, I'm sitting at the back. And he was like, why? And I was like, because I was so emotional. I didn't want to have to go back into the shit because it's never fully gone.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to keep working through it. But there you go. That was my fear. I was like, I was dodging it to the max. Like I was like, I can't go back into this. And then I went into it, and what happened? I obviously had serious emotional release, and then I went back in the second day, and the second day was just amazing. So it's like your first little bit of fear.
So how would you say facing your fears has changed your whole perspective of life, your mindset, your beliefs, and the way that you react to things? Because now, for example, for me, it's so easy for me to be uncomfortable. It's so easy for me to like face my fears just because I'm used to it. So now that like you have done it, like how does that change you?
So it's like anything. They think as an entrepreneur or someone successful that you're not scared. I am scared, but I get to choose that. Am I scared or do I just know that it's like a little bit of unknown? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I know I'll still do it. Because
Correct.
regardless of fear, I'll always do it. I'm not afraid of nothing.
You push yourself through the wall, and it's like
I might kill
if
me
it's
with
gonna
that.
break me, doesn't matter. I will build myself again.
Exactly. And like I think people think that like failure is such a bad thing. Like failing was the best thing that I've ever done. Like knock me down, tell me I'm shit, give me constructive feedback.
For you to
because
be
I
a
love
winner,
that.
you need to fail.
I love it. My mum used to go into my dancing teacher and she used to say like, I know you think Ciara is great, but she wants me to ask you, can you tell her something that she's not good at? Because every time I dance, they'd be like, perfect. And I'd be like, great. And then I'm like, I need you to tell me like,
Yeah.
like
Like
my sales team, she's like, tell me I'm shit. And I'm like, okay. And I'll pull out everything. And she's like, that made me feel good. Now I'm going to come back stronger.
but get something, not just tell you that you're shit, but spot what are you lacking on. Because yeah, not just tell you like, no, yeah, you're shit.
No.
But actually like spotting like, look, being honest and authentic.
Yeah.
Like, look, this is not good. Even if they don't, because some people they have the fear to telling you and like, oh, like why are they? If I tell them this, like, and
As a leader and as a someone that's running teams, like it's I don't mean to say like you're shit. I'm saying that's what I like because I'm like, tell me that I'm not good at something because I've been told I'm amazing. I'm this,
Yeah.
I'm that. Like give me constructive feedback
yeah,
because
correct.
I'm so happy with that. I love that. But there's different types of personalities that if you told someone they were shit, they'd be very upset over.
Yeah.
So it depends on the personality, and I think that's like leadership. It's like what's this type of
But if they take it
like-
personal, it's inside of them. Because that has happened with a lot of people. A lot of when I start a mentorship with somebody and somebody is giving me feedback, they're kind of like scared of giving me that feedback, and I'm like, listen, I love feedback.
Yeah.
Like give me the raw, like give me all. I'm not gonna take it personal. I'm straight so they can give me everything.
Yeah.
Because people are scared to give you feedback.
Especially when you're running companies or like I'm not saying higher status, everyone is equal, but I think when you have like successful things behind you, they're like, if I say this, am I going to insult you? But my mentor says to me, he's like, do you want to know the real truth?
Please.
And I'm
Give
like,
me.
yeah. And he was like, it's going to hurt. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, you don't want it bad enough. And he said that to me like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh my God. And he was like, you want your partner to change. And I was like, oh my God. And he was like, your values are stronger and da-da-da. And like, it was hard to hear. But I reflect back and I'm like, he was so right. And I told him there and then, I was like, yeah, I agree. But then there was other times when I was defensive because I was like, no, I do. But I'm like, no, you don't. Because if you really did and someone had a gun to your head, you would do it. So I think when you say it with fear, there's like, have you ever seen that quote, like, face everything and run? or face everything and rise.
Correct.
So what do you want to do? I'm always going to rise no matter what. Even if it feels like you're crumbling at the moment, like you're always going to rise. And it's like there's only 2 frequencies that you can live in, fear or love. Most people, 90% of the population live in fear. They might not think it, but they live in fear.
Yeah.
Because most people want to do more, they want more. And I do think as well, like obviously coming from both of us, it's important for listeners to know that like you don't have to be an entrepreneur to
Not
be
at all.
successful. That doesn't define you. We thrive off that, and we're doing it for a deeper reason and for impact and for passion.
Correct.
And we've landed ourselves in this position with hard work, and we've worked our way up to it, that we want to keep going because it's what fuels us. It's what makes us feel really good. And some people don't want that responsibility.
No, that's fine.
That's okay. It's like there's no right or wrong here. There's
Correct.
no everyone should be an entrepreneur, because if you're really happy in the job that you're doing, you go home to a family, and if that's what you really deep down value, absolutely keep doing what you're doing.
Correct.
No one is there to tell you right or wrong. But I think for us and for like the next level for ourselves all the time is like self-discovery, growth, and then passion, and then everything else just comes, like the money, the growth, the financial side of things. But alongside of that, there's 2 sides. What's it going to come with? It's going to come with stress. It's going to come with emotional stability. But we choose that. We know what we can hold our emotions, and if we can't, we know what we need to work on. And it's like always like reevaluating and reassessing your life, I think, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And things change all the time. What I wanted last year, I don't want now.
Correct.
That's good.
And yeah, and that's fine. Like anything, all the changes are good. People are not used to change. They like to stay comfortable, and they like to keep creating the same patterns that their family have and they're being creating. And I believe we're meant to break the patterns and do what we really want. Be creative and design your life.
Do what you want. Do what makes you happy. Like if you want to, literally, if you think it's the most stupid job ever, if you think it's something really small, do it. No one's going to judge you. The only person that you're thinking about is your own self-esteem and your own mindset. Take the risk. Exactly. And like every risk pays off. And like that was a podcast that I said to you the other day. There's a podcast with Rich Roll and Chase Jarvis, and they're talking about taking risk and living a life of like true fulfillment and abundance. And there's like not enough people. Everyone's so scared to take risks. But what's worse? What's a bigger risk? Staying the same and being like, I wish I could have done that, or taking the risk, learning, and then going to the next level?
Nah, the regret. That's the biggest risk.
I could
not taking the opportunity and then regretting that you didn't take it.
I have regret that. Like I wish I spoke up more. I wish I raised my hand more, because I was always scared in case the answer was wrong, or if I sounded a little bit stupid. Like I went to a very well-known school, and like they all wanted to be doctors and everything, that I was like, shit, I'm never going to get the points for this. Like, what am I doing? But that piece of paper never defined who I am today. And I think it used, if anything, it used that as fuel for me to be like, now I'm going to prove like what I can really do. And to show that, that's why I call my own podcast, It's a Man's World. But it would be nothing without a woman or a girl. So It's a Man's World podcast came from, I'm never going to live life on societal norms. I'm not your average girl.
Not at all.
You said
yeah, you're not.
I'm not your average girl, and I've chose that, and I feel so strong about it, and I'm not ever going to settle for anything less in my life. And I think when you know deep down you're always destined for more, and you're really in connect with yourself, like trust me, no money can buy that.
Not at all.
It's the best feeling ever.
And now that we're coming to the end of this episode, I want you to think in a deep level a message to yourself, to your younger self, something that you want to tell your younger self about now that you have done so much. And it's like an advice for your younger self.
Okay. I don't even think I've done that much. I don't even take it as that.
There is always way much that you can do.
I'm just getting warmed up.
You know, how I call it? Every time in my projects or whatever, I get a new client, whatever, I just say like, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. And like, I start so many times, and it's like
Yeah.
I accomplished so much, and it's like, okay, I'm just getting started.
I love it though. Like
Yes.
always, I'm always the learner. I'll always
Yeah.
be the student learning, like what you said. Like I'll always be that person. But I think you said advice for my younger self.
Yes. But for you though, not for like you, like not for someone, for you.
Of what I would have done,
Yeah,
or
for
like what
an
I
advice, for an advice that you would like to receive for your younger self. Let me ask you something. How old are you?
have a guess.
I don't know. I don't.
You have to
You
guess.
you look very young. I don't know. 23.
No,
No way. Okay, 24.
I'm 28.
No way.
I am.
You look
Everyone
super
says I'm
young.
young. Everyone always
Super
says I'm
young.
like 20 something, 25,
Okay,
28.
what would you tell your 14-year-old?
Oh, okay. I would say like 14 is is very young.
Yeah, you're
Like
premature. You're basically like in high school. You're
going into my
surrounded.
teens.
You're surrounded by. Put yourself in the position when you were 14. You were surrounded by your high school friends. You know, you were very influenced by this simulation that we live in, being programmed by your family's belief, by the people you surround yourself. You know that they shape your reality. So at 14 years old, you don't decide to be in that school. You don't decide to study what you're studying. So put yourself in the position where you're 14 years old and you have that life. Because I don't know where were you, but
I would go back and I would say no one is greater than. So no one's better than you. Because I had the assumption that if someone was smarter, if someone had like a richer family, they were better than me. And I would always have two levels, the upper class, the lower class, and I would have put myself in the lower class because of maybe the job that my mom had, maybe not having a dad around. I would also say that like you never really know what's going on behind closed doors, and that was something that I didn't really understand. And everything right now, when it doesn't make sense, will make sense down the line for you, because I think people think it's like the happy family and marriage and the life and the mom and the dad was something that kind of really affected me, because I was like, I don't have a dad. Like my dad disappeared for 10 years, like gone off the face of the earth. But I didn't realize that my younger self was affected by that until I got to where I am right now. So that void of like 10 years of like, where is he? Putting stuff under the mat, not knowing that like arguments like that was going on, like there was just so much chaos, that if I could go back and tell my younger self, I would be like, you're safe, you're protected. And that was the first thing that I ever done when I started therapy. She always said to me like, tap here and tap here. Okay, and then like on my heart to say like, you're safe, I'm protected. And like that's how I had a lot of trust issues with the people and the relationships that I was in, because I used to always think people were lying to me because my dad always lied. So I used to be like, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. So I would go back and say, take a deep breath, just reassess before you make any irrational decisions, and just know that like no one is better than you. My mom always says to us, you do what you can do anything. My mom said, yous are the best. Me and my brother, yous are the best. You're better than them. But then again, that put into my mind, it was like it's something that like excelled me forward. But I think I would just know that like we're all equal. We all have the same choice, the same freedom. We have the chance and the choice to live whatever way we want, and like your goals are never too far away, that you just have to start. So that's what I would say.
wow, that's amazing advice. And so now, if you can share your social media, how they can find you, and yeah, if you can promote yourself a little bit, or what programs you have. So if anybody's interested in you, how to do a consultation or anything like that.
Yeah. So you can find me at my Instagram, Ciara_Rossi. I'll leave my business page here, Rossi Apparel and Fit Coach Rossi, for your own journey. Maybe you're inspired and you're like, I need to kickstart. I want to start my health and fitness journey. I've got a lot of videos on my page. I've got lots of transformations of proof, but always do your research first and see if it aligns with you. Maybe I'm not the right fit, and I don't just say that because I'm trying to get a sale or get someone in, but just see if like what we promote is what you want to be part of. And I've got a YouTube channel, I'll link it below as well.
Yes.
Podcast too, It's a Man's World. You'll have to
And
watch
yes,
back on ours.
yes, they need to, because
Yeah.
that's how we actually got it deep into that we're like so alike, and
Yeah.
that's why we're doing this one now.
We literally met, like, we actually didn't even meet.
No.
So
We were in the same event, but we
were at
didn't.
the same event, and I seen him running headfirst on a video into the water, and I was like, look at this lunatic. Didn't care. And then you followed me, and then you said we should do a collab.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's just it. And that's how it happened. Like, we arrived to the podcast. We don't know the questions that we're asking each other. It's just natural. It's just flow.
Correct.
Always do with like what feels right for you.
Yeah, correct.
Because you'll just know. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed it, and thanks for having me on.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Woo! Bro, that was so much value.
That was so
What?
good.